Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari do their best to disclaim any authorship of 1,000 Plateaus. Their strategy, to make ourselves unrecognizable,
to render imperceptible not ourselves, but what makes us act, feel, and think. To reach,
not the point where one no longer says I, but the point where it is no longer of any importance whether one says I. We are no longer ourselves. Each will know his own. We have been aided, inspired, multiplied.
Deleuze and Guattari, of course, have every right to use the first-person plural pronoun. They are two authors of the same work. But this strategy far exceeds the reference of our authors. The authors, characters, and readers of this book are swept up in a play of identity that progresses through several formulations in the short chapter called The Geology of Morals. If I were to say that we are speaking, would you be among us? Are you listening to us now? The nature of pronoun is contingent, filled by relative reference to the situation in which it is used. The form is the same, we, while the substance is contingent. Deleuze and Guattari exploit this contingency. Moreover, the same contingent substance is symbolized with manifold forms. Now we see the form of content and expression is at play. The pronoun fills the space of n-reference, and likewise, the n-referent is itself unfixed. Were there many pronouns, nouns, syntactic structures, and adjectival phrases, lines of flight, multiply and displace, or deterritorialize the concept we are referring to in the first place?
We are never signifier or signified.
We are stratified. We are stratified.
What voice speaks in 1,000 Plateaus? Whose voice am I using now? Am I speaking, or are we speaking together? What if we used another's voice?
We're a little lost now.
Since I am a moralist, the real question must have more virtue. Who are we?
Who are we?
That is an inherently more open question, one always ready for contingent, friction-generating articulations.
Donna Haraway, The Promise of Monsters. In Chapter 10 of 1,000 Plateaus, Deleuze and Guattari discuss the nature of the third-person singular pronoun
and its lacking in determination, only insofar as they are
applied to a form that is
itself indeterminate,
or to a determinable subject. On the other hand, they lack nothing when they introduce hic-cities, events, the individuation of which does not pass into a form.
The he does not represent a subject,
but rather
it makes a diagram of the assemblage.
When the pronoun takes on a plural form, it takes on a plurality, multiplicity. The we too is never we. Its positive reference, the we too as substantive, is deliberately undermined by the tendrils of reference that extend beyond it. We in the text goes through several permutations and several multiplications, proliferating in all directions. We is a process of becoming substantive, but only as a plurality. The problem of the organism is endemic in 1,000 Plateaus. The first voice to articulate for our gentle narrators in the Geology of Morals is the brusque, brazen Professor Challenger. The character overlaps the we, extends it, and sometimes takes over for it to such an extent that the reader doesn't know if we refers to Deleuze and Guattari and their readers, or Challenger and his listeners.
We have to hurry,
Challenger said.
We're being rushed by the line of time on this third
stratum. The answer is both, or more precisely, the answer is the line between the two.
The problem of the organism is a problem of articulation, the articulatory relation.
The entire organism must be considered in relation to a double articulation, and on different levels. Ground phenomena or statistical aggregates determining an order.
For now, all we can say
is that each articulation has a corresponding type of segmentarity or multiplicity.
One type is upper, more molecular, and merely ordered. The other is more rigid, molar, and organized.
Deleuze and Guattari are only too happy to have another's voice in their mouth. We are aware that the simian voice behind Challenger's beard is Deleuze and Guattari's own voice, only hoarser, broken occasionally by an H cough. Sometimes, however, it is a wholly different voice, vocal apparatus included, which speaks in concert with their own. To quote extensively from H.P. Lovecraft, using his characters to describe the transformation in their own characters. The act of quotation adds Lovecraft's voice to the multiplicity already speaking.
Même quand on fait de la philosophie, hein, c'est ça. Quand on est sur la limite qui sépare la pensée de la non-pensée. Il faut être toujours à la limite qui vous sépare de l'animalité, mais justement, de telle manière qu'on n'en soit plus séparés. Il y a une inhumanité propre au corps humain et à l'esprit humain. Il y a des rapports animaux avec l'animal.
The narrator, articulated by we, by Challenger, by Lovecraft and others, is in a state of becoming animal, a rhizomatic process of symbiosis with other beings, but without evolutionary affiliation. The becoming animal always involves
a pack, a band, a population, a peopling, in short, a multiplicity. Becoming is a verb with a consistency all its own. It does not reduce to, or lead back to, appearing, being, equaling or producing.
Articulation is not a simple matter. Language is the effect of articulation, and so are bodies. The articulate are jointed animals. They are not smooth like the perfect spherical animals of Plato's origin fantasy. The articulate are cobbled together.
It is the condition of being articulate.
Nature may be speechless without language in the human sense, but nature is highly articulate.
To articulate is to signify, is to put together things, scary things, risky things, contingent things. Like God or the lobster, the substantive we narrating our little adventure is a multiplicity of becoming beings, each exhibiting various or contradictory phenomena proper to their own being. We return to the plural singular bind. Is it a multiplicity, or are they a multiplicity? Yes, on varying strata, and with varying articulations, both are true. Like we say about our challenger becoming Carter, who feels a
self-real and who experiences a fear worse than that of annihilation.
Carters of forms both human and non-human, vertebrate and invertebrate, conscious and mindless,
animal and vegetable, and more.
There were Carters having nothing in common with earthly life, but moving outrageously amidst backgrounds of other planets and systems and galaxies and cosmic continua.
We are no longer ourselves.
We are
a little lost because
distinctions have proliferated in all directions.